On a hot day in August 1963, Martin Luther King delivered the infamous I Have a Dream speech. Today we will discuss this speech. We will talk about how the speech was put together by Dr. King and his team, and we will talk about the progress that we have made since then. My name is Travis. Welcome to my channel. Let's get started. The I Have a Dream speech would define Martin Luther King's legacy and the civil rights movement. This speech was delivered during a march in Washington for jobs and freedom. This march serves as a massive push for economic and political justice for African Americans. It was held during the 100 years anniversary of Emancipation and Proclamation. Crowds marched on to the National Mall to watch speeches and live musical performances. King was a Baptist preacher and a well-known civil rights leader during this time. And he was scheduled to be one of the last speakers at this huge event. This was King's debut on the national stage. Prior to that, King had only addressed small crowds at black churches, fundraising rallies. He would be seen by 250,000 people on the ground and millions watching around the world on television. This was a good chance for King to reach a wider audience. This way, the government and public could take action against racial injustice. The night prior, King worked with a group of his advisors on this speech all night long. They finally settled on the final draft on the morning of August 28, 1963. But interestingly enough, the phrase "I have a dream" was nowhere in the original draft. He didn't use this word until halfway through his speech. Mahalia Jackson, who performed earlier in that day, called out to him while he was speaking and said, "Tell him about the dream. Tell him about the dream." King set his prepared remarks aside at that time and improvised the rest of the speech. He crafted a speech that was seared in the minds of Americans all over. The speech was divided into two parts. The first part was the part about the injustices that people faced in America, like segregation, police brutality, and discrimination. He urged to call a non-violent action. The second part launched into King's dreams of racial harmony and peace, a vision in which people will be judged by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. Highlighting King's skills as a preacher, part sermon and poetry, and using repetition, so used metaphors to drive his point home. It also contained biblical and historical references that really moved and inspired this big crowd. This powerful message of struggle and hope became a defining moment not only in King's career, but also in the civil rights movement. The speech and march on Washington was credited with helping to secure the passage of the Civil Rights Act in 1964, a piece of landmark legislation that ended segregation and banned discrimination on the basis of race or sex in the workplace. This speech also resonated with activists all around the world. "I have a dream" phrase wasn't even meant to be in his final draft. But since then it has appeared political actions all around this world. It is considered one of the most transformative and influential speeches, alongside others like Abe Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. I Have a Dream speech is one of King's many achievements, but it is one of the most pivotal in our nation. So today, Dr. Martin Luther King, thank you for your I Have a Dream speech. I think it's changed a lot of things in the world. We still have a ways to go, but we've came a long way from August 28th, 1963. And I think your speech had a lot to do with that. So thank you. If you like anything I said in this video, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And the Libra Man is out.